Morning, good evening, good afternoon, fans, friends, flirts, people from all over the world. You are tuned into the Ocean Heart channel, the one and only, no holds barred. We don't shy away from issues. I'm not woke, but I am saved. I am conservative. I call it out, and it makes people mad. And it drags them out of their dungeons to come over here and try to stir the pot. That's good. If your life is not forcing people, if your life, I'm not talking about you getting up in people's faces, if your life is not forcing somebody to take a look at themselves, you're going to have one of two reactions. Either they're going to be drawn to the light or they're going to go back to the darkness. My channel is a divider. My channel is a turning point. People are either going to hate me and they keep hating, or they're going to come to this and come to God and long for the truth. I believe that. I want you to think about something in a different light. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Let's stop right there. What was he doing before this? Look, let's vitamin capsulize this fast. You got your apartment, you got your house, you got your car, you got your truck. Your whole world is your truck or your car or your Starbucks latte or your dog. Imagine all that not here. I'm in Georgia. No USA, no world, no universe. There was just God out there wherever he is, doing whatever God has done for eternity. And somewhere along the line, he punctuated eternity and went, let there be. Whales and oceans and everything. What was God doing before all that? Was he bored? Was he sitting up there wherever he is going, we can't do it. We can't do it. You know why the internet is so strong? It grabs us at all levels. You want to lust? Go to the internet. You want to book a flight? Go to the internet. You want to peruse fashion or trucks or cars or weapons or whatever? Go to the internet. You want to actively involve somebody? Go to the internet. Are you mad at the world? You can get on here and troll. Oh, people are running around in their panties and their bra and their underwear when they come onto my channel with their hatred and bossiness. It's like, I'm not even going over there. And you keep coming here. They can't leave this channel alone. Why? Because this isn't just another channel. Just an old-fashioned love song. No, this is not the same old, same old. I'm not Charlie Kirk. I'm not Billy Graham. I'm not Oprah. I'm not nobody but me. And I caught what Mr. Rogers taught because he modeled it. He said there's only one you. Think about that. Do we magnify and exalt God for uniqueness? I pull parts all day. I've had to pull 7 hydraulic kits. They're boxed about 19 by 19 by 19 inches. I have to take the list out. I have to make sure that every gasket, every seal, every O-ring, every filter, everything is in there. The price for all that, $14,700 for 7 of these kits. They're rare. They're impossible to find. Yeah, I got to make sure I get this order right. Why? It's going overseas. And it hit me while I was doing my job. God speaks to us when we're moving where he wants us to be. Michael, you are irreplaceable. Before you were in the womb, I knew you, he said to Jeremiah. Do we grasp that? We're screaming for attention. That's why we're all here. All them girls they think they're the only one. They're the only one that's got this sexy shoulder. We're screaming for attention. But guess what? We can't find our fulfillment in ourselves. We can't. God was not sitting up there looking in the mirror going, God doesn't look at your pickup truck and say, wow, that's really cool, man. God doesn't enjoy your latte. We don't realize God cares for us. He loves us, but he has no interest in the stuff that we trifle with. He's the God of eternity. He's not created. Everything you see is created. I got to pay $3,000 to have half a tree hanging over my property removed. God just said, let there be, and there was a seed, and that seed went, and now it's a problem. God didn't have to pay for a thing. He spoke it into existence. He walked into the middle of eternity and said, let there be. Protons, neutrons, and electrons just went. Man thinks he's so great. Man thinks he's so awesome. Ooh, you got a lift kit on your twag. I saw a video this morning, a guy with a brand new F-250. Silly lift kit. And he goes out in the rain, decides to launch, and he ends up breaking something, and the whole truck tilts over. I always read the comments. This is the kind of truck a 6-year-old would like. I'm going to nail it. I love trucks. I had a Deuce and a half last year. Love that truck. But they break and they cost maintenance and the tires and the oil changes. All the stuff that's involved is unbelievable. And we as people think that we're so smart that we will become a slave to our truck, our beauty, our latte addiction, our pet addiction. And we'll talk and talk and talk and talk, and we won't say one word about the Creator. That truck is going to rust. I stood on a hill in Virginia, Minnesota. It was the edge of an old abandoned iron ore pit mine that had filled with crystal clear, ice cold water. And the ground I was standing on, I had my 95 F-150, and I looked at my wife and son when I was married. I said, you see that dirt? That's iron ore. This truck, every part of the steel will end up back in the ground from where it came. Even my then wife said, well, that's deep. I never thought about that. I said, yeah. And look how we get caught up in this stuff. God says in Revelation something that we better keep in mind. God says something in Revelation that we had better keep in the forefront of our mind. I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth passed away, and there is no longer any sea. Somebody told me how many parts we actually have in our inventory, and it is massive. We have parts that cannot be found anymore. Truck parts. And it blows me away how many parts there are just for one vehicle. Have I realized that I'm unique, irreplaceable? We treat life so cheap. Abortions and murder and violent crime. Two people, instead of getting control of their minds, got to shoot each other in a road rage stupidity. What is the matter with our society? And people laugh and mock the Bible. What's wrong with using self-control? It'll save your butt. You're so glued to your dang phone and you're going to get in a head-on collision. Now can you read the text? Do you care? You're on a gurney going in an ambulance and you're pronounced dead before you get to the hospital. Yeah, that Facebook's so important, ain't it? We need to contrast our little silly world with something called the iron steel of truth. Your truck is going to rust. When you get older, you won't even be able to drive it anymore. In fact, the circle of life goes like this. We potty train a kid, we teach them to walk and talk, and during the teenage years, we tell them to sit down and shut up. And then when they become an adult again, they can't walk, they slur their speech, and they pee their pants. And then they need Depends. I don't care how great you think you are for a blip on the radar. I was thinking about that boss who was a jerk. So arrogant, walked in with his shades propped up. He got so much weight, he had triple chins. I saw his obituary, 2016. I'm like, wow, this guy died. And guess what? A few mourners come. The next day, sun comes up, alarm rings, gotta go to work. Life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. We shouldn't sit around being mournful all the time, but we need to look at the circle of life and death and old and new. And even me, I rue the fact that the classics are disappearing, that you can't get a decent truck today. $80,000 for Denali, go throw a lift kit on there. And I mean, that's not a classic. It never will be. And it's amazing that man's ego is so fragile that defines him, or their gun, or their muscles. And then the guys were talking about sports, they talked about somebody who threw a pitch with such force that his arm just shattered. I read Dave Dravecki. I can't remember what team he was on, but I read his book, Comeback. His arm had a degenerative problem. I don't remember what happened. He was out of baseball, but then he came back, and then he had another book, When You Can't Come Back. He got saved. And people laugh at that. People say, oh, you're a Bible thumper. Let me know when you've ever seen me go like this. Derogatory terms. It elicits the same ridiculous response. You call me a Bible thumper, but all you do is talk about your twuck. Wow, as if though you made that thing, as if though you designed it. Wow, you spend all this money on your twuck and you can drive around on your little, that's what they are. These vehicles that people buy becomes a little throne. They get on the road, get out of my way, I'm the king. And you're just looking at them like, you know what? Your punishment should be that you will drive a Prius for the rest of your life. Let's see how big you think you are. But watch this. I've seen women in Priuses. They'll pull in the school bus zone. School bus is only, no parking. I'll tap the horn. She won't move. I'll tap it again. She'll get out and videotape me. I said, ma'am, I got to unload children and you're in the way. I need you to move. And they're going to make a statement in a Prius. I've seen all aspects of life, and it just blows me away how stupid people are, how finite, how shallow, how we try to be impressive, and don't trip over that crack on the sidewalk, turn around, make sure nobody's looking, dum-dum. We want to come off as smooth operator. You know what's wild? Is God is not, he doesn't trip. He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't talk about stuff that's perishing, and he doesn't go on and on about any of what we go on and on about. I just let that perspective be in you today, that when you get up and you love your world, and God loves you, and God sent his son for you, God is not into Starbucks. He is certainly not into the dog as much as you are. Romans talks about they would worship the creature rather than the creator, and we're seeing that. I got a problem with lust. I magnify women. I magnify them. I mean, I'm always amazed at the prettiness of women. And what's stupid about that is that just picture them when they're 70, 80, and the skin is hanging, and there's no definition and firmness to the breast, and the body's spent. Why are we so obsessed, us men, with beautiful? And most beautiful women today, they're not thinking about God. They're little narcissists, and they just want attention and hearts and the dopamine release of being their own little diva. And what's really dumb is we're not going to be having sex in heaven. We're not going to be getting married in heaven. Nobody's going to look at a glorified woman and say, whoa. We're going to be looking at God. I remember when I was in middle school, I got into the Titanic disaster. I was reading Towering Inferno and the Hindenburg and all the junk that went on that was disastrous, and the Titanic grabbed me. I read the book A Night to Remember, a pocketback book. Night to Remember by Walter Lord. As a junior high kid who was thinking about boobs and running cross country and all that, all of a sudden I got hooked on the Titanic. I couldn't believe how big it was, the way it was described. The beautiful, I will tell you this, if I could, I was thinking, I wish I was a producer and I could make a movie. Excuse me. And I wish I could be in it. I wish I could go back to 1912. Book of Passage. Just the way I am. And on that evening, about 2 hours before, I walk up to the bridge. Officer Light told her, "Yes, what are you doing up here? I need to talk to you. I need you to steer this thing 1 degree to port right now." "Who are you?" "I'm Michael Nelson. And if you don't, you're going to make history." Would he have listened? Me coming out of a different time, and I show him, oh my gosh, I got an ingrown hair in my nose. That feels awesome. Woo! That hurts. See, we talk about everything here. Let's skip ahead. The Titanic wasn't found when I was reading about it. Nobody knew where it was. You got to remember where it hit the iceberg. There's ocean drift for 2 hours and 40 minutes. And then once it did its descent to the bottom, there was a ways where the impact of the iceberg was. We all believed, most of us believed, that the whole ship was just sitting down there. I traced outlines of the Titanic, minus the second smokestack. When they found the ship, it shocked the world. It was in 2 pieces, with contents scattered all over the place. A porcelain doll head, a chamber pot, a boiler with a china coffee cup resting on the face of it, a hydrant, a leaded glass window from the first class smoking room. It was unbelievable. The rust that has gotten into that ship since they found it in 85, 86, whenever they found it, is shocking. It's as if though the ship is weeping. There's iron ore eating bacteria. As they eat, they leave this waste and they form icicles. Robert Ballou called them rusticles. It's amazing that the ship is still, the decks are intact, the hull's intact. But one day, something's going to give. And the thing's just going to go poof, and all this iron oxide dust will make the water sedimenty for a few minutes. They said in so many years, it'll be an iron oxide streak on the ocean floor. It's funny when things are brand new, and I was thinking if I made a movie and I could go back in time and walk on, I'd probably cry at the woodwork and the beauty of the inside of that ship. Like, wow, this is neat. We get so big in our head. Most of us live in our head. The internet is a temple to us. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. You think God is impressed with a cell phone? He never needed one. Could you imagine? I mean, seriously, could you imagine God sitting on his throne up there? That's cool. Ding. Like, I hope my God isn't doing that. We get bored, and then we believe the lie. We're technologically advanced. You're not on Facebook? You don't have Instagram? You don't have Netflix? What's wrong with you? Would you say that to God? He lived all eternity, and at some point he said, let there be, and here we are. What was he doing? Was he playing Merlin? Was he playing tic-tac-toe? Was he playing rock, paper, scissors? Oh, that's why there's asteroids out there. You must have played rock, paper, scissors, and the rocks are flying around everywhere. I've walked in the bottom of a meteorite crater. Yuba Hebe crater. Not far from Death Valley. To think that this rock hurtling from space, most of it burning up in the atmosphere entry, and that thing hitting the earth, and that dirt just goes. Can you imagine being near that? God's not impressed with your truck or your beauty or your house or your college degrees. You got to go to college. You got to spend big money to go to college, and God automatically knows everything. He sees you. I was talking last night on the live. Our phones, our laptops, and our TVs watching me right now. It doesn't matter. God is watching us. And how can he do that? There's almost 8 billion people in the world? He knows what everybody's doing. He knows the number of the hairs on every person's head. And man thinks he's so smart because he got a college degree. You were educated in a university that denies this, and you think you're smart. Okay. Politicians think they're smart. They're a bunch of little kids running loose in a toy store. Unattended, no consequences. And they get up there and come up with these radical, newfangled ideas without thinking of the fallout. Everything God does is purposeful. He is knowledge. He is wisdom. Everything he does is deliberate. People are dumb. You're not getting an education in college. I hate to tell you. You're getting programmed by the world leader right now, Satan. Story time. I have a steel cart about 4 feet long, 2 feet wide, big metal handle on it, iron tires. I love it because it's solid steel. When I got to haul PTOs or a differential or some heavy piece of equipment, that's what I use. And it is loud across the cement. Everybody plugs their ears. And yesterday, somebody said, Mike, you're getting a new cart. Everybody's sick of the noise. I said, wow, I rattled everybody so much that one of the owners bought a couple brand new carts with pneumatic tires. I thought, boy, I hope they can handle the load of what I haul back there. And they're nice, but they're shorter. And they're too nice. It's got that old, the rubberized, I thought, oh, this is going to get tore up so fast. It's quiet. When I'm pulling heavy stuff, I think of myself, and it's foolishness, I know, but we all have that about us. I think of steam trains. I think of steamships. I think of the world in 1912. Steam power was impressive. See those big reciprocating engines on the Titanic? I mean, wow. And those big, massive propellers. If you were to take a Titanic propeller, and you wouldn't have to be that high above my house, and you were to drop that, it would just go poof. The Titanic anchor would come through the roof, through the attic, and seriously damage the concrete, probably crack and uplift the slab. Little perspective. You look at these tornadoes, you look at weather phenomenon, people brag about their house in a nice neighborhood, tornado comes through, the trees are shredded, the house, it's not even there. And that is why God says, lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moth and rust doth not corrupt. And what do? We got vain imaginations in our mind for some girl, for some guy, for some truck, some car. We exude energy, resources, and time instead of getting to know God on an intimate level. We are distracted, and Satan enjoys that. And we try to tell ourselves, well, I could use this for God's glory. No, honey, you're using it for your glory. We lie to ourselves. And we can use this. I use my voice to talk about things to stimulate thought. I will never be viral. I will never have the big following that these, other channels, if you want to call them that. I cannot believe how much stuff on YouTube or the internet is mental trash. I cannot believe how many girls have made a career on YouTube showing their body as if though they're the only pretty girl out there. I cannot believe how many males are throwing their hard-earned money at that foolishness. You cannot get a date with that. Why are you paying her to be a PORN queen? PORN is free. Why are you paying her? And we men have created the entitlement and the attitude, the batitude that goes on and on and on. Man thinks he's so powerful, thinks he's so smart. I live in a city, in a county, in a state, in a nation, on a globe. Let's leave Earth. Where's the wall and the ceiling? Where's the end? Don't know. And before God even created all this universe, where was he and what was he doing? Did he get bored? How do you have God who's not created living for eternity? How did he happen? Don't know. But because finite man can't answer that question, they come up with the ridiculousness of evolution. Oh, yeah. Symmetry, man. Symmetry. Ears, eyes. Evolution is impossible. How come I don't have an eye on my butt cheek and the nose at the bottom of my foot? Just the breakdown of food. The way the body sweats. The way we men have an orgasm. How did all that just happen by accident? That a woman's got a different set of equipment and she can have an egg fertilized by us and a baby's formed. And she can carry it to term with an umbilical cord. Yeah, that all just happened by random accident. That is so ridiculous. That isn't even science. That's insanity. And scientists are clowns that go to college saying, the Bible's a bunch of trash. I believe in science. Poetry in motion. Bum, bum, bum. Now she's making love to me. Bum, bum. She blinded me with science. Science. Give me a break. Science is brainwashed today. Brainwash. Kool-Aid. I noticed the Mormon church has become very aggressive on YouTube. Now it's showing women with their white button-up shirts, all smileys and Hallmark, while they're telling you a colossal lie. Everything in this world is orchestrated by Satan to get you to be distracted away from the Bible, away from God. He's happy with you drowning in your social media. He's happy with you obsessed with your truck, your pot. Look at people who defend what they defend. They talk about their thing every day. Their latte, their doggy, their trucky, their pot, their cigarette, their alcohol. I mean, I watch it. The guy in the shipping office, arrogantly, what are you doing this weekend, Mike? I don't know yet. What are you doing? I'm going to go out and tie one on, man. Oh, yeah, the almighty beer bottle. I want you to picture something very creepy and surreal. Imagine if Earth was to do like the TV set back in the days where it just turns into this line and it's gone. The moon and all that is out there, and suddenly you hear bum, 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 bum. Mr. Sandman, send me a dream. You'd be like, what? Earth and people are gone. How is it we hear something when nothing's playing? No one can stop you now. Tonight you're on the loose. Our country 'tis of thee. Fixations and obsessions. Do we stop and pause and turn off the noise? Do we hear him? Do we see and sense him in your personal day-to-day life? You got a troublemaker on the internet in one of her posts where she's blasting and being drama. I need my angels to protect me. My angels? You don't own one, baby. You don't own one. And they're not your angels. And I'm telling you, based on your behavior, I think you got demons riding on you, sweetie. People that don't know God, it's amazing how deceived they are, how arrogant and fueled up they are to attack us, to come after us, to keep coming back for more and more and more. But what did Satan say? I will be like the Most High. You dumb. You didn't even speak this into existence, and you're going to become the Most High. Okay. That's rich. Ariana Grande has been coming out with some real satanic stuff. It seems like people are making a move to worship the beast. We're heading there. I admit, in the 80s, when I was thinking Christ was going to return then, what I see happening today, I never thought this stuff was going to happen. If you'd have told me in the 80s that our culture was going to turn completely upside down and favor and embolden and entitle and give privilege to the 13 percenters, which has the highest crime stats, and constantly making false accusations against the rest of us, I would have said, no way, that ain't going to happen. Satan is active in our world. And anybody who says there is no God, you are right in the devil's hand. He's happy with you, bud. He's got you right where he wants you. Hide behind your college. Hide behind your suit and tie. Yeah. God doesn't wear a suit and tie. Let that sink in. Jesus came on earth and he did not wear a suit and tie. That is a modern construct. There's a shallow man. He leaves the neighborhood every morning about this time. Got to make noise. That's called living in your head. Most of the people are not up like I am. But we're going to show off to a dark, sleeping neighborhood. Got to let everybody hear you. And you're thinking in your mind, everybody hears me. Everybody wants to be like me. No, there's not one person on this street. Most of them probably didn't even hear it. I hear it because I'm awake. The shallowness of people. And those are the ones laughing at us for believing in God. When you believe in God, you get depth of knowledge and wisdom that world out there does not have. So what if you don't have a college degree? And this is the rub. God tells us to work. If a man will not work, he shall not eat. We use ourselves and spend energy. We want to get rich. We want to make money. If we simply do what God wants us to do and follow him, we can avoid a lot of hurt and a lot of slavery and a lot of problems. I'm a man, I struggle. I struggle with little man syndrome myself. I don't want these new trucks. Deep down inside, I want a Deuce that's been gone through brand new, gleaming. I want an ocean liner. I'd like to feel important. I'd like to have the truck, the ship, everything that when somebody looks at that goes, this is why God tells us greatness does not come from us exalting ourselves. Greatness comes from exalting the only one who's worthy of it. I tell people on my channel, women and men say, you saved me, you saved me. I did not save you. I have some narcissism. I got on here because I like to talk. I love transportation. I love communications. I like to be free. I like to show the world. So what? Laugh at me. You might think I'm a dork, whatever, but I'm having fun. And all the hatred that comes on here just blows me away. But out of that, 14,000 plus subs, I was looking. I accidentally found the sub list. I was like, dang, there's a lot of pretty women on here. A lot. And men of all walks of life. I'm like, it suddenly hits me. You're not just a YouTube channel, Michael. You've got people paying attention. Use it wisely. I mean, you can be a PORN queen and do this all day long. You go to bed at night feeling good about that? People tell me, Mike, I like your subject. Stop talking about God. I can't. I cannot do that. I didn't become religious. Religious is boring. God got a hold of me. He got a hold of me through this. And this is my manifesto. Not Mein Kampf. Not Plato or Socrates, the Holy Bible. And yeah, I have my problems. I sin. I'm human. There are times I wish I was a Solomon. I'd like to have my own version of not Mambo 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little bit of Jessica in my life. Little bit of Rita is all I need. Wouldn't it be fun? Solomon did. Solomon said in Ecclesiastes, I denied myself nothing. And guess what he said at the end of all that? Meaningless, meaningless, vanity of vanities. Trying to fill the hole, the black hole that is us. Black holes fascinated us. What is it? We used to speculate that some starcraft, starship would go in there. Where did it go? Don't know. God created that too, by the way. Some guy bought a muscle car, brand new back in the 70s. Don't remember what it was. But I heard the story. He driving around, he kept hearing this damn rattling thing. Kept taking it back to the dealership. The dealership admitted, we hear it, but we don't know where it is. They checked the steering linkage, they checked the frame, everything was flawless. I think it took him a year. And a mechanic said, I need somebody to ride in the trunk. I think it's coming from back there. So they had the trunk and they drove around on the parking lot. And the guy said, it's right in here. They removed the body panel. And when during production, somebody had left a tool in there that was going ding, 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 ding. Some sick puppy on his production shift thought, watch this. Or it could have been an accident. You just bought this car, you saved up all your money, and you do not want to hear a rattle. If this channel does not get people to think, if this channel doesn't challenge people, then I'm just another YouTube mental trash so-called content creator. I will tell you this, I don't think like most people. And that's what draws people here. Because everybody thinks they're so smart, but God has made me like those parts that I pull. You're one of a kind, you're irreplaceable, there is no other. There's a husband and wife. She was down here the other day. She'll pick up the parts that we want remanufactured. We send stuff out so that we can keep making parts that are not made anymore. And his shop here is good. He can make a brand new version of that one sample we have, and our company can charge the rip because nobody's producing it. That's smart business. I get tired of people following everybody in the clothing style and everything. And I see it with trucks and cars and thinking and culture. I've really started paying attention to women's fashions. Almost everything women wear today is a window drape or a shower curtain or a bathroom towel. I'm thinking, I wish I knew half of what I was doing and I could design women's fashion that was affordable, but where women go, that, yes, I want that. Put Dress Barn in the grave where it belongs. Please. I'd love to do a caricature of God. The angels and Jesus. Father, what's wrong? Somebody just made a place called Dress Barn. And the angels, what? That's outlandish. A woman on my channel asked me yesterday, you talk about sweet women. What is your definition of sweet? I'm not putting this person down. Nobody knows anymore. Chocolate is sweet. A dessert is sweet, but we don't use it to think of women anymore, do we? Because it kind of left. It kind of disappeared. Should I define it? You'll know when you see a woman who's sweet. In my lifetime, girls used to have scrapbooks. Girls would pick a flower in the yard. Girls just had a sweetness about them. And when a girl threw her arms around you and kissed you on the cheek, we boys would light up like a rocket ship. Something of our innocence has left us. The harsh, crass, crude, based world is all we know. It's reflected in the music. It's reflected in the fashion. It's reflected in our dying, dead, boring, cliquey churches. It's reflected in sorry, Hillsong, and silly, trite, boring. How do women? No wonder our music is dictated by Dress Barn women. They have no passion, but they'll put their arms up. Wow, that's so sincere. I get in here and I boogie down and people are like, what the hell is this? is somebody who's been liberated to not give a crap what everybody else thinks. Remember Taco Bell? I love their commercial slogan. Think outside the bun. Shoot, Wendy's, McDonald's, and Chick-fil-A, everything's in a bun. I had a girlfriend in Denver. She wanted me to get a man bun. I said, I am not doing a man bun. Every man I met with a man bun is not cool. They got a personality that sucks with that bun. No. And she pulled that girl thing. But I think you would look so cute in the man bun. As she touches my neck. I said, stop doing that. I love you, but I'm not getting a man bun. The guy I work with shows up late. So I'll go get into the computer and see any pick tickets, and I'll print them up, highlight them, staple them together. I am allowed to do that. He does not like that. I said, dude, I'm here to start my day. I'm not going to stand around going like this all day. I got stuff to do. And if there's 5 tickets in the system, I need to get the jump on them. Because if we don't have that part, I need to let the sales guy know so you can let the customer know, do you want 4? Because we only have 4. So I saw a ticket that went out literally 3 minutes before quitting time the night before. I'm running around. I'm like, wait a minute. I just pulled all this. Oh, my gosh. And he came in with his hot dog late. A hot dog with relish and all that for breakfast. Okay. I said, hey, the silver fox in the office printed this again. What are you talking? He got all pissy with me. Gave me the whole look. You know, that's why I told you not to print. I said, you would have printed it too. No, I wouldn't have. I walked. I thought, I'm sorry. I did the proverbial inside look that said, not going to deal with your moodiness. You're 45, I'm 60. We're not going to do this. I walked out of there. Came back. I saw tickets in the, you know, he's got the little, what do you call them? The document holders that he got screwed in the wall, and they're ordered by what's what and what warehouse. I pulled it. He just printed this damn ticket. I looked at him. I said, this is a reprint. What do you mean? Where'd that come from? I said, you put it right there. Look at the time. Remember the one I printed that you told me? I said, you just printed this again. So she sent you a second time this ticket. And you know what the clown said to me? Well, that's why I told you not to print. I said, no, this is the one you did. I said, that's on you, bud. And I walked. I'm learning the art of communicating with jerk men. I'm not going to yell, but I was harsh. I was firm. I said, no, that's on you. It's not my fault you printed that. I'm not going to blame that on me. And I walked out the door. By the time I came back, he ramped his turbos down and backed it up like a Tonka truck. People suck. And I'm learning something. If they think they can run all over you, they will. Our society is notorious for that. When I walk into a business and I get some rest me biatch chick at the front desk, I am there for an appointment. Can I help you? This is exactly what happens. Yep. I have an appointment at 2 o'clock. Well, you're early. I said, yep, text message said to be 15 to 20 minutes early. I'm 25. And I will say it, firmness and with just an edge of rudeness. Hey, boobies, back it up. Just because you got all this showing at the front desk, I'm not going to worship you. I'm not going to slobber on you. I don't got the time for this. I work hard for my money, and you better treat me right, and I'm paying to come in here. Shut your mouth. Don't give me an attitude when I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I hate that. Women using child-directed speech. How's Mr. Mike today? I don't know. You got a box of crayons and some Elmer's glue? I hate that element of our society. And for the longest time, I couldn't stand Caucasian women because they were queens at that crap. Rude at the front desk, child-directed speech, fakey, flaky conversations, but ASS ugly clothing from Dress Barn. All Dress Barn did is find a way to reuse shower curtains and window drapes. They got the same pleats and the same thing that the damn rod at the top goes through. I mean, you got to give them credit. It's like the clown that developed the pet rock. A rock. Where's my rock? And they put two little googly eyes on it that move. I mean, that is dumb. I'm going to show you all something. I like contrast. I like the severity of contrast and perspectives. That's a rock. Some clown was walking in his yard, picked up a pebble, and he put two of those little eyes on it, put it in a box, and made millions of dollars. Frickin' brilliant. Shows you how stupid people are. All you twuck boys out there, let me show you something. A few years ago, I was asked to come in the last day of Christmas break down here at transportation. Start buses. They've been sitting for 2 weeks. Cold weather in Georgia. Get paid to come in for a day. Make sure all the buses are ready to go when Monday morning flies. I came up an aisle and bus 292. It's one of these. This is actually a Thomas, but it was a Bluebird flat front end with the engine in the front. I'm like, what the heck? All the glass was gone. The tires exploded. The sheet metal was black. The bus had self-ignited and there was nothing that wasn't metal. The dash, the steering wheel, all the seats, the foam, the vinyl, all the plastic, the emergency roof hatches melted, gone. I walked up to the side of the bus. All the windows, the upper and the lower, the part that opens for the students, aluminum frames, all the aluminum's gone. The windows were tempered glass, and they went poof. Glass all over the asphalt. There was no aluminum on the bus. This was attached at the base of the sill, the steel. This is what happened to the aluminum. Right here. Got so damn hot that it became liquid, and I looked on the asphalt. There was big splatters of aluminum that had turned liquid, hit the pavement, and solidified. They're still there to this day. Everything that you guys go on and on about, all your discussion, all your money, all your slavery, that's it. That's it. When I first started driving a bus, I went through my own evolution, so to speak. I was so happy to be a bus driver. I started thinking because of our training, I was a better driver than all the people on the road, and to a degree we are. Non-CDL people have no clue. But I'm seeing a lot of CDL people today have no clue. They're just throwing anybody in a seat. And I thought this was pretty invincible. Then I saw accidents. I saw buses towed to the yard that were crushed, destroyed. And it eroded my view more and more. There's nothing we can make that's unsinkable. Nothing we can design that doesn't rust or corrupt. And I kept this to always remind me, if you burn to death, what goes on after you're gone? Anything? A fancy gravestone? A couple people crying at your funeral? What goes on? What is my or your legacy? Sorry, all you little 2-inch Tata girls that are out there doing this all day. When you die, what have you left for the good of society and for an eternal God? Because at some point in eternity, God said, God created the heavens and the earth, and he wanted fellowship with us. And we want fellowship with our job. We want fellowship with our truck. We want fellowship with our eating and our pot and our everything. Do we desire a relationship with the God who breathed us into existence? Do we get there? No, we're easily distracted. We're like children. My cell phone. It's become a woman's binky. I look at the office lunch on Wednesdays. The women go right to their phones with their backs turned to everybody in the room. I mean, I'm going to be honest. When I use this word, I'm not talking about special needs people. It is so retarded looking to see grown people with their toy. I used to belong to the cruiser group in Prescott. And I know God saved me because one day it finally hit me. These guys standing around with their jeans, the motorcycle jackets, with their GTO, with their Cudas, with their lift kit trucks. One guy took a 79 Ford and did Goldwing on the truck doors. I remember being caught in all that. Wow, that's cool, Beavis. And my mom actually said one day, I was going down Gurley Street and I was thinking of you because you love trucks. And there was a lift truck in front of me. Said he was going up the hill and something suddenly fell out of it. The guy couldn't move it off the road and parts started falling out underneath it. And I'm actually glad my mother said that. We really get caught up in nothing. Do we realize that the angels look in on us? Do we realize that God sent his son to die for us, not so we could be selfish and sin? Do we grasp, we chase a woman, men chase women or other men, or lesbians chase other women, or women chase men, or whatever we chase. And God wants a relationship with us. Do we grasp that? Do we care? We chase everything but the one who can love us properly. God doesn't look at me with a motive. God doesn't get a boner looking at me or any woman. God doesn't even think sex. Westminster Catechism states, what is the chief end of man? To know God and enjoy him forever. What is our problem? Instead, we get caught up in stuff that ultimately will turn into this. That's solid aluminum. It's flat here where it hung, right at the bottom of the windowsill. Perspective, people. You can think you're high and mighty. You can think you're a corporate exec. You can have the hottest hoopty. 20 years from now, where's that going to be? 20 years from your health shifts. People think the Bible's dumb. Read it. Read about King Solomon, the wisest man on earth and the richest. He was worth more than Elon Musk. He had gold. He had real precious metals. Solomon was filthy rich. He had 1,000 women at his disposal, 700 wives, 300 concubines. He tried wine. He tried building projects. Solomon said, meaningless, meaningless. All is a chasing after the wind. People fight over an inheritance. Be gobbled up by people that didn't work as hard as you did. Fighting, sisters hating brothers, brothers hating everybody. I didn't get what I deserved. I'm going to court. When you get peace is when you get to know God and you trust Him as Savior and you realize, yeah, it's wrong to be wronged, but if you realize God is the one who rewards and His reward will last for eternity. What, you want a cheeseburger so you can get fat? You want a truck? Then in 20 years you care less about it? What do you want? You want something that matters. It scares me that one day that my brain could stop working. I could get Alzheimer's. I could lose my brain. I pray God doesn't do that to me. Let me live and be used by you. And when it comes to the point that I cannot, then let's go. But I don't get to call that. See, we think we're sovereign. You don't know how you're going to go out. I hope I hear that trumpet. Oh, baby dog, I'm out of here. This music to my ears. I'm going to get up and I'm going to be grooving all the way up. People be like, look at him. He's up there in heaven going, Mike, what are you doing? I don't have to go to work today. That's what I'm doing. I don't have to worry about maintaining my house. That's what I'm doing. I don't have to worry about aging no more. That's what I'm doing. I don't have to worry about searching for a woman no more. I don't have to do nothing but enjoy God forever. I will own nothing and be happy because God's fair. These clowns saying this in this world are evil. They want to strip us of all of our goods and have it all for themselves. God will own everything in heaven and we will be happy. No rent, no mortgage. God isn't going to play take backs, keep backs. What He gives us, He gives us. Are you chasing this? I used to be caught up in buses. I love yellow buses. Now the buses are like the pickup trucks. They suck. They're breaking down. They don't have the cool engines they had in them. These Cummins engines, everybody, oh, Cummins. Cummins is junk. I had buses that had cat engines in them. I had International DT 466 that had turbos that have more power than these pieces of junk today. 2 years have gone by. They're finally running the 25 electric buses. One of them doesn't work at all. And drivers are telling me they're breaking down, they're having problems. $450,000 for these stupid things. And if they catch on fire, the Thomas rep told me when I was there and told us, get away from it. You're not going to be able to put it out. You might as well just start roasting marshmallows. Politicians try to play God. You listen to these leading Democrats and their arrogance, and I'm going to say something else too. Donald Trump is arrogant. Donald Trump needs to get saved. Donald Trump needs to get born again. We need to pray that Donald Trump gets saved because he is not. Let me tell you something, child of God. There's no room for arrogance for us. It's okay to be firm and stand up to trolls and people. We need to. But arrogance, just remember that's a hallmark of Satan. I shall be like the Most High. Men bragging about their muscles. Men that I can't even see their face get on here. Oh, I could kick your butt. Oh, you think so, huh? If God allows. And what's your point? That doesn't mean you're a man. It doesn't mean you're tough. It means you're an imbecile. Think about that today. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Why? Do you think he ever looks down here and says, oh my gosh, what a bunch of idiots? When it came to the time of the flood, he repented that he made man. Wow. And yet he preserved 8. God says it's not good for man to be alone. God said about his own self. Now, I'm not quoting God here, but he doesn't want to be alone. That's why he created us, so we could have fellowship with him, and he wanted to share his glory with us. And we glory in trucks, and we glory in beautiful women, we glory in our money, we glory in our knowledge. It's so stupid. It's so utterly stupid. We are not all that. Nobody is all that. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many trophies or things you won. You are a nothing burger. As beautiful as the Titanic is, all that beautiful interior decor is gone. It's nothing but steel and rivets rusting very quickly. You got women on YouTube reading tarot cards. That's just demonic stupidity. Tarot cards. And you see the world, the broad road leads to Satan. The broad road leads to worship of self. Trista did a video saying, Mike, the minute you said you voted for Trump, people are going to hate you. She's right. I'll take it a step further. The minute I said I believe in Jesus Christ without any shame and I read the word without any fear of retribution, that really is putting a finger in the eye of somebody. People don't like the truth. It's why they criticize my looks, my dancing. They find anything to go on about. Anything. You could ridicule somebody all the way to hell. You won't be laughing at them when you get there. You will not, when you are in the lake of fire, ever say Michael was a loser. He's ugly. He's stupid. You will not be saying that. You'll be gnashing your teeth going, why didn't I believe? I got to suffer this forever. People are short-sighted. You get all caught up in your truck and your guns and your self-importance and your legend in your own mindsets, you're going to go to hell. And every day is torment. Every day, forever. Mike, I don't believe in that. Good. Cool. The reality is you're going there. Believe whatever you want. Deceive your brain. Enjoy the ride. There will be no Chevy, Ford, or Dodge down there. You won't have a gun. You won't even have a drinking fountain. And that's all you'll be thinking about is, oh, how I love cool water. You won't get anything. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. Doesn't sound like you'll be having a party and being arrogant. God does not play around with arrogance. Pride goes before a fall, and he's throwing Satan in there. He made the lake of fire for Satan and his angels. People say a loving God would never send anybody to hell. You're absolutely correct. But men choose to reject his gift of salvation and send themselves. I want to close the video with this. The Titanic was once a beautiful ship. Where she currently sits, this is what it looks like right now. That's what it looks like where the Titanic sits 24/7. No light. She rusts. There's fish down there and crabs. How the hell do they see? How does a crab get on the deck of the Titanic and walk around and see what it's doing? That's a trip. That is a trip. So everything you do in your life, where does it end up? I hate to tell you this, but the Titanic wreckage has already and will outlast your foolishness. Think about that. You think you're all that. The wreckage of the Titanic is 114 years old. And you think you're all that. You think you're high and mighty, screaming through the neighborhood, making noise, playing your garbage noise, and whatever you're doing. And when you die, you will not have a legacy. The Titanic has more of a legacy than you. Put that in perspective, people. Please put that in perspective. Legends in their own mind. The internet has raised a generation of clowns. When this turns into an aluminum globule, how much more your own life? If my channel doesn't point to the truth, if I don't say the things that need to be said, I'm just as guilty as anybody else of filling the internet with mindless porridge. Open skullcap, dump in sludge. Years ago, I prided myself in being a school bus driver. And a Christian set me straight. Michael, you are not a school bus driver. You are a servant of the Most High God. You just happen to drive a bus right now. I don't drive them anymore. That's out of my world. Am I being used for God? If I'm not, then what am I doing? We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Is the purpose of your life to get that house, to get that girl, to make more money, and then you die? Everybody follows the same blueprint. Why are we doing that? Trust God, go to work, do what he says. The doors close on your job or a door opens, walk in it in God's strength. It's not about us, okay? But God did make it about us. He sent his son. There's something Beth Moore did not say, and she's just a money-making clown, making money off so-called ministry. And I'd tell her that to her face. These Christians calling their baloney ministry is disgusting. I know what ministry is because real ministry doesn't make money. All these preachers in suits and ties that are worth $40, $50 million, you call that ministry? I call it Fortune 500 religious organization, tax-exempt status, and you're like, I got a problem with that. Any preacher that's got 40 million to his name, that place that he calls church needs to be taxed. What is it about affluent people that instead of throwing their money to missions and stuff where it's actually being used, worship a man? Oh, he's such a great pastor. You need to hear him. No, you need to hear from the living God, not me, not him, not her. And we pedestalize people, and we do it in politics, and we do it in churches, and they let us down. And our American landscape has been raped because we put everybody on a pedestal, and they all disappointed us, including DJT. Anybody know who DJT is? Donald J. Trump. God doesn't disappoint us. Do we go to him? No, we go to this person, that truck, that house, that job, that money, that college. And I graduated from Harvard. Oh, did you? What do you know about God? God? I got a science degree. We don't believe in that rubbish. Oh, really? So you believe we're just a random act? But of course, the beauty of evolution is self-evident. Oh, is it now? You are a clown. How dare you call me a clown? I majored in what? Brainwash 101? Let me tell y'all something right now. I'll say it to every reporter. I'll say it to every clown, leader, king, whatever. If you don't know God and you don't know this, you don't know a thing. So what? You can work on a computer. You can wire my house. Cool. That earns you money. If you don't know God and you don't know his word, you are sorry. You are living for temporal reasons. The earth and all that is in it will be burned up. Your degrees, your shingles, that crap in your garage, that inheritance, every bank, the Bible talks about in Revelation, an earthquake so great. One has not been on the earth like this. So great was the earthquake, the cities of the nations fell. Did you hear that? Augusta, Mammoth Lakes, Tokyo, Butt Fart, Texas, Pokey-Do, blink, miss it, driving through will be level because God is going to shake this world like a shoebox and say, you think you're big? You think you're big? They'll be crying, cried us from the face of him who sits on the throne. You think you're all that because of your truck and your gun? Wait till you run into the Almighty. You'll be going, you will not be the tough boy. That needs to be shouted from every pulpit today. There's something wrong when people on my channel just last night said, I will not go to church. I can't stand sermons. I said, wait a minute. You're on my channel. And the man isn't gay. He said, I love you, Mike. I listen to you. I had somebody else say, you say what preachers won't say. Why not? Because they're teaching corporate ways. I'm doing well. Well, we don't want to offend anybody. We want to love them to Jesus. How's that working out, your congregation? How's that working out? All these people are doing what? They look like they're baptized in lemon juice, dressed in clothing. Nobody's coming. We had Friends Sunday last weekend. Do you know how many people showed up at church? Who wants to go? If I was dating a girl, I'd be embarrassed to bring her here. But I'd say, you know me. Come with me. You tell me. Am I wrong? Am I right? I have a feeling that woman would say, Mike, what the heck are you doing in here? Let's go find a different place. I go because I want to hear the truth. Because in order for me to feed you guys, I need to have somebody else feed me. That's biblical. Biblical says, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together, as is the manner of some. And especially as you see the day approaching. Do you not see the day approaching? Do you not see the narcissism online? Do you not see the foolishness that a pickup truck costs $80,000? And what are you getting? A bucket of crap. A backup camera and a butt warmer seat. Really? You know, with God, if he gave you $80,000, he can make that last. And you get more fulfillment out of that money doing things for him than you would ever in that dumb hoopty. Yeah, I'd like a deuce. One that's totally gone through. Diesel's what? $5 a gallon now? Every time you fill up the tank, you hear the truck go, "Bah!" Wow. You want to be a slave to diesel? $5 an hour, I make just under 17. 3 gallons of diesel. I can burn that going to the flea market and back. Stupid. Stupid. Better to exalt God than your sorry self. Women! So what? You got a pair of tots. Who cares? Every woman's got them. You don't got any more difference than anybody else. Yeah, there's variety there. But how many times you got to sit there and be a flake on the internet? How many likes? How many hearts? They're saying there's brain damage being caused by these kids that will not put their phones down. They can't sleep at night. They're saying that violent video games is producing more and more bullying. I love these trolls that get on my channel and say, me playing violent video games doesn't make me violent, you loser. You're bullying. Yeah, it does. You're going to sit here and tell me that this promotes that crap? It don't. Bible says be tenderhearted, forgive. We're supposed to love one another, pray for one another. But instead you're blowing up everybody and stealing cars. Wow, that's awesome. I got to get the high score on this, man. I talk about everything and I convict myself. My own addiction to ography is just as wrong as violent video games and alcohol, pot, and gluttony and everything else. Women got all bent out of shape when I talked about obesity. And they even tried to lie about me. Some women are funny. Mike's a racist, Mike is a fruitcake, but I'm going to keep coming to his channel and accuse him of stalking me. Let's unpack that. I don't go to your channel. I saw what you were about when you made a false accusation. I realized I had spent too much time wasting my God-given time listening to you carp about these trolls, and every day you don't have any content. You're not talking about the wonders of Lake Michigan or what's cool about Chicago. You are just, you got a nationalized online drama that's like Jerry Springer. And then you come on my channel yesterday and say, you can come onto the panel with me. No, honey, I'm the head of my house. I told you. I told you. Get on my Discord and we talk like adults, and you didn't want to do it. Childish. You want to bring me in your little Jerry Springer box because that'll make views for you when you're sitting there going, and women and men like that crap. No, I'm not going to get in your little box because I don't believe in Jerry Springer. You never came to me first, and you still want to run back to your friends and tell them that I refuse to come on your panel. Only a fool would get on your panel when you've accused that person with nothing but lies and hate. The biggest mistake I made was believing you were pretty and you were a decent human. That's where I blew it. Just goes to show you, sometimes I can lack discernment until you show me the other side of you that I missed. Mr. E-Rock is on my channel. You would never walk up to him and say the things you're saying. Maybe you would. Maybe because you're just so used to running your mouth. There's women on my channel. You would not walk up to their face in real life and talk to them that way. You are like Satan. You're arrogant. You think you're greater than the Most High. You think you're greater than the Most High. Your channel's descending into the abyss of Jerry Springer-ism. And people are leaving your channel and they're coming over listening to mine And Trista's growing a channel, and I'd rather listen to Trista. She's rolling in her truck. She's going through real life, and at least she's got something. And she showed you the door. You know, and you came into my channel 2 times making a name. Who's stalking who? That's rich. The father of lies is your master. Quit writing on your thing that you're asking angels to protect you. The only angels that are hovering around you are Satan's demons. Because I look at the fruit. My channel is authentic. It is real. I talk about my sins, my struggles. You just point your finger to everybody and playing victim. You walk into a room, kick over a can of gas, it explodes, and then you say, look what they're doing to me. Oh, honey. Look what you did to me. You owe me an apology. I don't owe you nothing. You lied. You lied about a moderator saying my moderator is racist. That was not a moderator who left a dumb comment about Puerto Rico. That was some scallywag I didn't even know. Huh. I never said Puerto Rico is a floating trash island. I'm done discussing this. You have no eternal life, and you show it. You're running into my room in your panties and bra, pretending that you're the valiant one. You're stalking me. You're making a complete buffoon in front of those fans. We had good discussion. People were getting prayed for, and in comes the devil. Here's Satan. Keep showing everybody the real you. We've already seen it. Or you can grow up and actually do something with your channel. I told you, you have the potential, but you're not using it. You're doing this. Nobody wants to listen to that except miserable people that like that kind of stuff. Anyways, moving along, I've given you way too much rental space in my head and on my channel. Way too much. Because you know what? God's not done with me. And I tell people, stop saying I saved you. Jesus saves. Jesus saves. God can use me. But you don't praise me. You praise God. You pray for me. You pray for God's protection on me. You pray for God to put physical, spiritual, and emotional protection. That's what I need. And I've never mandated, you want to be a member, you got to pay. I'm sorry for those of you that donated when I had the super chat on. I cannot access the money, and that bothers me. If there's any way you can fight your credit card company back and say, I sent a donation, he cannot get the money because of what Google is doing, and I'm not authorizing this transaction. Google is a greedy bastard tech company. They have no soul. We're using their platform. They're also using us. Sad. Gotta go to the salt mines, people. I work hard for the money. So hard for little money. But God treats me right. People don't. Society doesn't. Why don't we take the time to get to know him more? An orgasm's an orgasm. Then what? Drink another beer, get drunk, then what? Smoke a little pot, make a little love, get down tonight, then what? Buy that truck with a lift kit, then what? Buy that souped up car, then what? Buy the house, then what? You see, it's a hole that's never filled. There's a God-shaped vacuum in every single person in the world. I look at all of us. We all got a degree of patheticness, if we're honest. We're all broken. I look at my friend in Nepal. She's now staying up, running her camera. She's trying to get views. Her channel really isn't going. And she's lonely. And I look at her little eyes in the dark and I think, God, I have compassion. I pray that she would be saved. I pray for Pooja. I pray for Rajput. Rajput's in the kitchen talking 90 miles an hour in her native tongue. And you've even got married women getting on social media. You would not know they have a husband. They act like he's not even in their life. What are you not getting in your marriage that you got to get on social media and get all of us guys trailing after you? What is that all about? We're a sorry lot, folks. All of us. We need God. We need his grace. We need his forgiveness. We need deliverance from our own selves. I do. You can get it too. We all get on there. I've said it. No one wants to admit this even in the church. Every one of us has a certain amount of narcissism, but some is toxic. I mean, toxic. Thank you for listening. I hate that. Little thing of granola gets stuck in there. You see, my channel's more fun because I'm not polished. I don't like polish. It's not real. I don't like going to church on Sunday morning. I've worked my butt off. I'm sweating. I was cursing. I took the scissors lift to the top of a ProMade. The ProMade has a 2x4 edge. Trying to lift a kit that's wedged down in there. I've got to get the lift up. I had to step off the lift, climb to the top of the ProMade, towering in the air, and I had to reach and pull the box up. And I'm up there going, sucking, frosted, I'm sweating. You get up to the top ceiling in a warehouse, it's a 20-degree additional heat blast up there. Literally, in a minute's time of getting something, I'm sweating bullets. And just coming down, the air feels suddenly cool. The devil went down to Georgia, no joke. And just imagine you guys that want to worship the devil and say, "Hail Satan." You think it's hot this summer? Imagine being in flames, burning and feeling pain, but never dissolving and going away. You just get to experience the rawness of it. That's what you want? Go ahead and show up, play your music loud, disturb the neighbors, be a putz. You're going to hell. And you're going to be there forever. That's pretty stupid. 70 years of your life and you're going to trade 70 years of your stupid life for that? You're stupid. God's trying to get your attention. I saw a coffee cup once said that God loves you and I'm still trying. And the church secretary said, "Mike, where'd you get those?" I said, "They were in the back room. There's a whole case of them." "That's not very nice." I said, "Sandy, it's the truth. And Christians got to start being real. I don't love everybody. And I hear Christians say, "Well, the Bible commands us." And the Bible commands us a lot of things. I wish there was a command that said, "Thou shalt not wear dress barn clothing and be superficial and fake." Good night. How's Mr. Mike today? And then our pastor says that the choir director and our youth leader, he's got way too much testosterone. He already told me he's insecure. He told me, "I couldn't do what you do. I would kill some of these people." And you put him in charge of the choir and the youth, and you're going to hand over the church. Man, pastor, you breathe your last. I'm gone. And if you ran into me and saw me, "Hey, I noticed you left." Dude, I'm not going to sit under you. You got issues more than I do, and I got a lot of issues, buddy. I cannot. You're not my mentor. I need a man in the pulpit. I wish churches would. Look. I don't think church should be edutainment. But I think that if a preacher is truly called by God, that people from all walks come in there and go, "Whoa, I love hearing this." we trudge to church. I mean, you might as well just start playing the music when you're driving. Dun, 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 dun. Where are you going? Church. That's sad. God broke through eternity and said, I'm going to make an earth. I'm going to make creation. Non-GMO, no DDT, no Agent Orange, no E. coli, no Ebola, nothing. He saw all that he made and called it good, and he got these suit-tied dweebs saying, whatever, believe in God, Bible, never, hey, does it, I'm doing well. You're going to hell. We have fun. Bye. Bye, Spacky. Climb your corporate ladder. Keep climbing. The higher you go, the further the fall. Woo! You are the weakest link. Goodbye. I say it like it is because this whole country, every selfish, narcissistic girl, we got them in our church, rude. If you're truly set free, you don't be rude. You boldly tell the truth. You don't be a car salesman. You don't be fake and superficial. You know, Mr. Rogers was a minister. He ran the most successful children's TV program ever without a shred of disingenuity or lack of integrity. These grown men today running around thinking they're all tough. Mr. Rogers had more macho than most of these blowhards out here all over the internet and out in society. Mr. Rogers was a well-adjusted man. Fred Rogers, how come we don't have more of those? He didn't pet and grope little girls. He didn't have children on his lap fondling them. He didn't reach over and sniff their hair. And he did all those voices. Meow, meow, meow. The guy was talented. I want to live in that neighborhood. I needed men all my life that had a firm grip on their humanity like Mr. Rogers. Oh, I didn't have that. All I see is insecure, blowhard men that think that they're tough and they just react in anger. I didn't have Fred Rogers as a dad. That was a man. Was he worth millions and millions of dollars? I doubt it. But we pay preachers big money. Sick. And there have been people that donated, and bless you for that. But people don't pay for this. They pay clowns. They pay entertainers. They pay suits and ties. They want polish. They want image. The society, by and large, doesn't want a guy with camel's hair eating wild locusts and honey. A guy's wife didn't want to hear him say, that woman is not your woman. She had his head chopped off. Jesus did not dress for success. The disciples didn't dress for success. They ran around and shipwrecked, stoned, left for dead. I'm telling you, folks, we focus on everything external. Just like the Pharisees did, you clean the inside or the outside of the cup, but the inside looks like somebody puked in it. Whitewashed sepulchres, that's a word for tombstones. I saw something that really angered me. Somewhere in the U.S., some ass in a bulldozer bulldozed a several hundred-year-old graveyard. Headstones broken and jumbled up. And the people there are very upset. Trying to bulldoze it so they can steal it and develop the property. I said, that bulldozer driver should never see the light of day. That, you know what? I cannot believe that you got clowns that'll go in and vandalize a cemetery, let alone bulldoze it, write swastikas on a Jewish man's grave. That'll take that kid, dig up that grave and say, here, smell this. Breathe deeply, you clown. You want to desecrate a man's grave? Go down there with them. Our society's whack. These kids are whack. People are whack. But let's pay $80,000 for a Denali. Nothing makes sense anymore. You think it does? You got to have your head twisted like a pretzel to think that this is normal. I had a woman jump on me yesterday telling me I'm an older, mature woman. So what? I'm 60, honey. How much older are you than me? You going to pull rank? And I responded. She said, these tattooed women, do you even know them? You show? No, I don't. They're internet pictures. They could be pillars of the community. A woman that looks like this is a pillar of the community. Okay, let's roll that beautiful bean footage. That's a pillar of the community, huh? Really? I've never seen one to date. How about this one? This one. Surely she's a pillar. Yeah. How about this one? This is a pillar to the community, right? Where's my friend? That's definite. Boy, when I look at that, I think, oh, she'd probably like to have deep intellectual conversations. She's even got a button you can push on her chin. If I push that button, does it talk? Does it walk? I like gauges in my ears. I like tattoo on my hair. These women have a bad attitude and they will judge me and they will hate me. Look at her face. Look at that face. Study the countenance, people. Body language is everything and most people don't get it. That face says, I am a B word. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm the definition of. And we've raised women after women after women after women after women. Our American landscape is littered with that. Do you think I care what she says about me? Honey, bunches of oats. No, I don't. You're not qualified. How about this? That's a pillar of the community, right? All boys clothes on. Everybody come on saying, you talking about women and you're dressed like a woman. Oh, but it's okay for women to walk, talk, act like, smell like, sound like men. Does anybody know what a lady is anymore? That's not a lady. This is 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 not a lady. They don't like it when I say that, but truth is truth. Truth hurts. That's why people get on my channel, get ugly. They're the same women as John the Baptist convicted. Herod's wife, you know, the woman he took from his brother. It is not right for you to have your brother's wife. That woman was so full of rage, fixation, and obsession. She waited and waited and waited and simmered in that crock pot of her wrath. Y'all, you women out there that hate me, and you know who you are, baby lips. You keep coming to my channel because you're seething with rage. John the Baptist had his head chopped off because that woman she had anger management issues. She didn't manage her anger. Instead of saying, I've sinned. God, I've sinned. This man's speaking the truth. I enjoy my sin. It's okay to admit to God you like your sin. He already knows you do. That's why you do it. And we play this little game. Get right. I love that song, No Parking on the Dance Floor. You better get a move on that body or I'll be forced to give you a ticket. So act right. And I tell people, don't act B. Herod's wife had a real problem. And these women that get on my channel keep coming back and stalking me, prove that they're convicted. If I'm such a doofus, a fruitcake, and a dirtbag, why do you keep coming back? There is a psychology that is unilateral. If a guy's a kook, people leave. If I'm a loser, a dork, a geek, whatever you want to call me, why do you keep coming back? Because I'm not. That's why. Because I'm getting to you good. Keep on coming back and proving and validating that what I'm saying is getting to you and it's making you mad. If I was truly the kook and fruit that you say I am, why do you want me to be on your panel? No, honey. I'm the head of my house and the head of my channel. You want to get right with me? Then get on Discord, you and me, grown adults. You want to drag this shit charade in front of the world? I don't. Because as a Christian, I want to move forward. It'd be nice if you got saved. It'd be nice if you apologized and we could shake hands and move on. That's what needs to happen. John the Baptist spoke the truth. Charlie Kirk spoke the truth. Michael Nelson speaks the truth. People threaten me, dogs me, want to kill me. Yeah, it's all the same. Doesn't matter. Spans the ages. I'm a Christian. I love God. I'm not perfect. And people hate what I say because they're convicted in their sins. Men love darkness rather than light, lest their deeds be exposed. So they're comfortable in the dark. But if a Christian walks into the room and says the truth, this is what becomes them. Right here. Right here. Right here. Oh, baby. Let's get that beautiful beam footage out here for all to see. Oh, my gosh. Can I get it out? Here we go. The funeral song begins. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, now you want to kill me. That's it. I always said I'm not a threat to anybody. I don't believe that anymore. I'm a threat as God speaks through me. Truth is a threat to people who love the darkness and don't want to. You want to be free? Embrace, hug, and acknowledge the truth. You want to be in darkness? Follow a lie. Follow your rage, follow your hatred, and believe that you are getting back at me when all you're doing is running around in your panties or your underwear. This is you. I'm free. I love this old roofer's hatchet. My son, about 13 years old, went in his mother's basement in Colorado and chopped the hell out of everything. Put this through the refrigerator down there. And I was not married and I was divorced, and I went over there trying to be nice to this irreconcilable woman and clean up the mess that he had left. I mean, he tore up everything. Surprisingly, he had trashed everything, including portraits of she and I. The stuff that I had given him, unscathed. I rescued this. This was mine, and I gave it to him, and I took it back. And I took a truckload of pedal car and toys and stuff, brought it down to Denver Public Schools Transportation, put it on the table. The woman said, Mike, what is all this? I said, my son destroyed everything in his room, and he's in detention right now for a month, and he doesn't care about it, and I'm getting rid of it to people who can benefit from it. Yeah, you butthole trolls on here don't know what I've been through. You run your little mouths, you think you're so tough. You're clowns. You're losers. And you need to get saved. And you got Christian trolls. They're a real special group. Real special. They think they're witnessing for Jesus, reading Deuteronomy 22:5 over and over again. Hey, newsflash. Go to the next verse and read the entire book. There's more word of God coming out of me than most of these people on YouTube. You got the little fancy dressed, little studio people out there now, got their little studio. And like and subscribe and send me all your money, people talking about the Word of God. No, I bring the Word of God and bring it into our real, raw, crazy world. I talk about tattooed freaks. I talk about skateboarders. I talk about the whole, the ew crowd and all the stuff out there. And we bring it to life. The Bible's not some compartment. God wants to save everybody. He wants to save even Mr. Seth, the toilet seat dude. He wants to save Angel Baby. I want every woman on my channel to pray that God saves Angel. I want every woman on my channel to get down on your knees and pray that God will break through her heart and save her soul. She'll keep stalking. She'll keep coming in here. We need to pray for her, and I will stand up to her. I have never hated on her to date. I've never called her vile names. And she keeps coming back like the Energizer Bunny. When I got fired from transportation, they cited the one video where I talked about and I had 4 videos. One was with this, one was with the knife, and one was a dummy hand grenade. It was about this time last year, in fact, to be honest with you. Where is my hand grenade anyway? There it is. It's a dummy. People are too dumb to see that. See the butthole, the back of it? A butthole? That means it's been drilled out. You can pull the pin and throw it, nothing's going to happen. So I'm doing this and creepy music in the background. And the superintendent, Mrs. Cobb, wrote this scathing diatribe saying that Mr. Nelson had 4 videos that were in poor taste that made drivers concerned for their safety. Isn't that profiling? They think I'm a white guy going to come to work with this, 200 drivers and monitors and staff, or come to work with this. I wouldn't even bring this as a joke to work. I'm amazed at how dumb our society is. That this is what they did. They took that video. I did not say the N-word. In fact, in the 3-minute video, my video is still up there on my shorts. In the 3-minute video, I said, why are they worried about the N-word if somebody said it? They say it all the time. Why do black people use the N-word in their music and call each other that if it's so racist? Michael, Ocean Art, takes thinking to its logical conclusion. You don't have to have a degree. You got to have God. You got to have discernment. And you got to be able to listen to people and unpack what they're saying and say, they've really got themselves sandwiched in this little belief that they've got it airtight. No, they don't. And I do creepy videos. There wasn't a school building in the background. There wasn't a school bus in the background. So 4 little creepy shorts that one of my moderators, Mom Rules, and Tanya, one of my other mods, loved. They said, I love those. Those are funny. They used that as evidence against me because now all of a sudden, a couple of angry black drivers that didn't like the fact I called out their racial bullcrap. Oh, we're scared. There is not a black person in America that's afraid of me. That's a lie from the devil. We are more afraid of them than they are of us. Factoid news flash. All that was virtue signaling, and they used that because they had a weak argument coming against me for being racist. The HR investigator even said this isn't racism, what you said here. He said in front of the HR lady downtown, Michael, you talked about the elephant in the room, and everybody tells us not to talk about the elephant in the room, and he laughed. He was agreeing that I nailed it. And what goes on in transportation is the same thing that's going on in this nation. Blacks don't get fired the way whites do. You got a black woman that just harassed, threatened, and made a racial epithet calling a Puerto Rican woman a burrito. She still has not been fired and is still on payroll making money driving a bus. I got fired for doing a 3-minute video on my time talking about some in Cincinnati, and you only tie in, as I said, I noticed on my Facebook, people I work with, I didn't say Richmond County, will never thumbs up anything that showcases the blacks acting bad. But you go to their Facebook and they got all this anti-white, anti-Trump, anti-everything all over their Facebook. I speak the truth, and the truth can cost you your job. And if the Democrats get empowered, they will make sure that we lose everything because they hate the truth. They want to chop off your head like Herod's wife. That doesn't change. It's 2,000 years ago. It doesn't change. Truth is a weapon. And instead of people relenting and agreeing with it, they become monsters and they show it. Thank you for listening. It's time for me to go back and pay my taxes so that all the EBT crowd can get their EBT cards, and people can live in the projects and have cop cars coming in and out, and they can buy their pimpy rims and their stupid behavior, but I got to have a dumpy old truck and I can't afford all that. Yeah. Anyways, thank you for listening. This is an upside down society. You are tuned to Ocean Heart. We tell the truth. We don't beat around the bush. I love you all. I thank you for your encouragement and prayers.